Good evening and welcome to the Cabarrus County Board of Education's business meeting for Monday, October the 10th. We would like to say welcome. I will call the meeting to order, and if you'll please join us in a moment of silence for the memory of Mrs. Caroline Hutchins. She was our cafeteria manager at Weddington Hills Elementary School who passed away on September the 22nd. If you'll please join us. Thank you, and our thoughts and prayers go out to their family and friends. At this time, we will have the presentation of colors and the national anthem presented by the Junior ROTC from Mount Pleasant High School, and they will be presented by the Cadet Caitlin Culp, Cadet Alex DeLeon, Cadet Michael Driggers, Cadet Caroline Shepard, and the group's instructor is Lieutenant Colonel Tom Clark. Please rise.
Order, arms, right, face, forward, arms.
And once again, thank you to the Junior ROTC unit from Mount Pleasant High School. And we will ask that the viewing audience and also those that are here with us tonight, we are paperless, we are computers, and it has taken us a little while to maneuver through, and this is only our real second business meeting, so bear with us and be patient. All right, board members, we are at setting the agenda 2.1. I would ask that we have an motion to approve the agenda as presented. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. We will now move to recognitions. Board members, your 3.1. We will begin with the Impact Through Education Awards. 2 students, a teacher, and a support person from a school are selected to receive the Impact Through Education Awards for exemplifying the qualities of initiative, hard work, and respect for others. 2 schools tonight will be recognized, Beverly Hills Elementary School and Harold E. Winkler Middle School. And I will ask our Public Relations Director, Mrs. Ronnie Boone, to come to the podium, and she will actually do the presentations for us. Thank you.
Good evening, board members. Tonight, as Ms. Blackwelder mentioned, we will honor Impact honorees or Impact Award winners from Beverly Hills Elementary and Harold E. Winkler Middle School. And at this time, I'd like to invite the members of the Beverly Hills administrative team to come forward so they can stand with their students and staff. You guys can just stand right there on the tape for me. Great. And I'd like to invite Cynthia Shue and her family to please come forward. Cynthia Shue is an amazing young lady. Cynthia has impressed all with her ability to stay on task, complete assignments, and help others in the classroom with the utmost respect. She has an outstanding work ethic and takes on challenges with an open mind and heart. She enjoys pushing herself to the next level. Along with her intrinsic motivation, Cynthia also possesses the natural ability to teach and help her peers. She understands the value of education and learning in all walks of life and is willing to help anyone and does so selflessly. We are honored to recognize Cynthia for the positive impact she has made on her school and look forward to her future accomplishments. Congratulations, Cynthia. Our next Beverly Hills honoree is Walker Smith. Would Walker and his family please come forward?
You guys are family, so
Walker Smith is a wonderful young man who always comes to school with a smile on his face, and that smile stays there all day long. If something doesn't go right for him, he maturely deals with it and continues his day with a positive attitude. Walker always strives to do his best. He wants success for himself as well as his peers. He willingly helps others in his class when he has the opportunity. We appreciate the effort Walker puts forth each day. He truly has had a positive impact on Beverly Hills Elementary. Congratulations, Walker. Wait. Our next Beverly Hills honoree is Ms. Lorianne Westerholt. Would Ms. Westerholt and her family please come forward? Mrs. Westerholt has worked in education for 18 years. She's been with Cabarrus County for 16 of those 18 years, and all 16 have been spent at Beverly Hills, which shows her commitment not only to education, but to her school. She's made a vital contribution to education and the school's dedication to student achievement. Mrs. Westerholt has high expectations for herself, her colleagues, and her students. She has served on the county's Partners in Math leadership team and has trained her colleagues on effective mathematical practices and strategies. Mrs. Westerholt has also been an instructional leader by serving as grade level chair, school improvement team chair, mentor to beginning teachers, and serving as cooperating teacher for student teachers. We are very proud of Mrs. Westerholt and appreciate all that she has done for Beverly Hills. Congratulations on receiving the Impact of Education Award. And our final honoree from Beverly Hills Elementary School this evening is Ms. Lori Holland. Would Ms. Holland and her family please come forward? Mrs. Lori Holland has been with Cabarrus County Schools for almost 14 years, and all of those years have been spent at Beverly Hills Elementary School as a teacher assistant and bus driver. Mrs. Holland is one of those educators who loves each and every student as her own. Her positive, can-do attitude is a cornerstone of support for students, staff, and parents. Her colleagues describe her as dedicated, compassionate, and passionate about student learning, even if it's just learning to tie shoes. Her students will tell you that the best thing about Mrs. Holland is that she loves each one of them. We are very proud of her and the positive impact that she has had and will have on the students at Beverly Hills Elementary. Congratulations. Next, we'll begin our recognitions for Harold E. Winkler Middle School, and at this time I'd like to invite the administrative team from Winkler Middle School to come forward to stand with their staff and students. Our first honoree from Winkler Middle School is Lindy Hawk. Would Lindy and her family please come forward? Lindy is an 8th grader at Harold E. Winkler Middle School who is involved in both her community and her school. She began gymnastics at the age of 2, but gave that up 7 years ago to pursue dancing, where she continues to excel, taking ballet, point, tap, and jazz. Lindy attends Calvary Lutheran Church, where she is very active in youth activities, including participating in a week-long mission trip to Georgia for the past 3 summers. When Lindy was in 3rd grade, she cut her hair and donated it to Locks of Love along with her sister. Her favorite things to do include dancing, texting, hanging out with friends, going to the beach, and carp fishing with her Uncle Steve. Lindy hopes to attend the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs and become an Air Force pilot like her dad, or maybe a doctor. Lindy was a 6th grade representative and participated in the Cultural Diversity Club at Harris Road Middle School. She's currently president of the Youth Commission International Club. She's been a cheerleader for 2 years, and Winkler Middle School is very proud of the positive impact Lindy has made on her school and continues to make. Congratulations. Our next Winkler Middle School honoree is Davis Dawson. Would Davis and his family please come forward? Davis is an 8th grader on the Arctic Wolves team at Harold E. Winkler Middle School. He plays the trumpet in the school band, is actively involved in his Boy Scout troop, and his favorite hobby is programming computers. Davis stands out among his peers as an inquisitive student. He's always willing to assist and encourage other students academically, as well as contribute to a positive learning environment in all of his classes. He's an avid reader and writer, which are exemplified in his schoolwork. Davis is described as trustworthy, helpful, and thrifty. He is well respected by his peers and teachers. Congratulations, Davis, for making a positive impact on Harold E. Winkler Middle School. Our next Winkler Middle School honoree is Mr. Barrett Kruger. Would Mr. Kruger and his family please come forward? Barrett, or Barry as he is known around school, is a high-energy individual who gives a lot to the students at Winkler Middle School. He coaches both football and basketball, but more importantly, promotes a healthy lifestyle for young adults. In a few short months at Winkler Middle School, he has helped organize the first school dance and a Lean and Green Day where students and families participated in a 2.7-mile fun run and cleanup of the school grounds. Barry is always looking for ways to make the school better for all students. He also serves as a mentor for various students throughout the school year. In this role, he checks on the students to make sure they are progressing academically and also meeting behavior expectations. Outside of school, Barry is a big-time bowler. He has bowled several 300 games in his career, and he also enjoys watching his Ohio State Buckeyes play on the weekend. Congratulations, Barry, for playing a positive role in the lives of all the students at Winkler Middle School. And our final Winkler Middle School honoree is Mr. David Drought. Would Mr. Drought and his family please come forward? David has been a custodian for Cabarrus County Schools for more than 10 years. Throughout this time period, he has impacted thousands of students by providing a clean and safe learning environment. David has helped Cabarrus County Schools open 4 schools in the last 11 years. He has served as custodian in the opening of J.M. Robinson High School and Cox Mill Elementary School, and as head custodian for the openings of Carl A. Furr Elementary and Harold E. Winkler Middle Schools. David enjoys being around the students and has assisted many students with various needs. He has helped students memorize math facts by playing flashcard games with them and has taught lessons on how to make maple syrup to several classes. David takes great pride in his job and school. You will catch him at a lot of sporting events during his free time or assisting staff members with needs outside of school. Also outside of school, David is an avid race and car buff. On any given weekend, you might find him at the drag strip or a car show. Fortunately for David, his wife enjoys these activities too. Congratulations, David, for having a positive impact on the students of Cabarrus County Schools.
Thank you, Mrs. Boone. And we know you enjoyed that as much as we do and miss that during the summer months.
I do miss it.
Definitely. We will move to 3.2 under recognitions, and we will have Dr. Shepard and ask Mr. Tim Vaughn to join him at the podium if he's with us tonight from Hilbish Ford to present the Hilbish Ford Teacher of the Month Award.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members. Each month, thanks to the generosity of Hilbish Ford, we're able to recognize a deserving teacher for his or her outstanding work. Tonight, Mr. Tim Vaughn could not be with us, but I'm pleased to announce that the Cabarrus County Schools Hilbish Ford Teacher of the Month for October is Miss Lisa Sands, and I would like to ask Miss Sands to please come forward and stand with me. Miss Sands is an exceptional children's teacher at W.R. Odell Elementary School, and she wants her principal to come with her. I think that's right. She works with older students in a self-contained class, and she was nominated by a parent who wrote, "Our daughter was born with a disability. It's a scary path when that child starts school, but Miss Sands has taught EC children for more than 20 years and understands these children's needs. She works with each child to ensure a positive outcome. She's encouraging, understanding, tough, and loving. Just the right mix for a child with disabilities," she says. "My daughter has thrived in her classroom, and Miss Sands is a rare find." So, Miss Sands, on behalf of all of us at Cabarrus County Schools and the Board of Education, thank you for what you do each day for our children. And tonight, we have a check to present to you and this beautiful trophy from Hilbish Ford.
Right there.
All right, perfect. Come on in. They said they missed the chance for the
Thank you, Dr. Shepard. Next, board members, we will move to 3.3 under recognitions. This is the proclamation of the DECA Week, which is the Distributive Education Clubs of America. DECA, and I've just told you, Distributed Education Clubs of America, prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs for careers in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management in high schools and colleges across the globe. With a history spanning over 60 years, DECA has touched the lives of more than 10 million students, educators, school administrators, and business professionals since it was founded in 1946. DECA's programs and activities have constantly evolved as the latest technology is used and cutting-edge educational research is applied. The core focus has remained consistent and is captured in their mission. DECA is organized into 2 unique student divisions, each with the programs designed to address the learning styles, interest, and focus of its members. The high school division includes 185,000 members in 5,000 schools. The collegiate division, formerly known as Delta Epsilon Chi, includes over 15,000 members in 200 colleges and universities. I would first like to acknowledge Commissioner Vice Chair Liz Poole, who I think is in the audience, for bringing this before us, and ask her to join Lisa Conger, our Director of CTE, at the podium with me so I can present that declaration, please. Made that a little easier, huh? Students. Thank you for being here, and I actually, on behalf of the board, am just going to read the DECA proclamation. Whereas October the 9th through 15th, 2011 has been designated DECA Week, Distributive Education Clubs of America, and whereas the mission of DECA is to prepare emerging leaders and entrepreneurs in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management, and whereas DECA's guiding principles are designed to explain how DECA fulfills their mission, and whereas DECA enhances the co-curricular education of members through a comprehensive learning program that integrates into classroom instruction, applies learning, connects to business, and promotes competition, and whereas DECA's activities assist in the development of academically prepared, community-oriented, professionally responsible, experienced leaders, and whereas DECA's attributes and values describe the organization's priorities and standards, including competence, innovation, integrity, and teamwork. Now, therefore, the Cabarrus County Board of Education do hereby proclaim October the 9th through the 15th, 2011 as DECA Week in Cabarrus County Schools and urge all citizens to become familiar with the services and benefits offered by the DECA chapters at Concord High School and J.M. Robinson High School, and to support and participate in these programs to prepare them for college and professional careers. In testimony whereof, this 19th day of September 2011, signed by the Board Chair, Cabarrus County Board of Education. Ms. Conger, would you like to say a few words?
First of all, I'd like to thank you for recognizing our students in one of our outstanding programs. With me, I have Nydia Mejia and Brittany Lowe, who respectively are a junior and senior at Concord High School, and they are founding members of the new DECA student organization, and they will be involved at the regional and the state level this year. So I'd like to wish them luck and thank them for all their hard work. And also, I'd like to thank their sponsor because she means a lot to us and she does a lot of hard work for our students. Thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
She said no.
You said them all. Okay. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. Congratulations. And while we are getting ready for approval of the minutes, we'll take this opportunity for those of you that would like to take the opportunity to leave us and not stay the rest of the board meeting with us. Please feel free to do so out the right side. Board members, we will move to 4.1. This is the approval of the minutes. Give me 1 minute to be there. The September 12th, 2011 work session minutes and the September 19th, 2011 business meeting minutes. Are you there? Okay. May I have a motion that the minutes of the September 12, 2011 work session minutes and the minutes of the September 19th, 19th, 2011 business meeting minutes be approved as presented, or are there any noted correction or discussions?
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes of September the 12th.
Ms. Carpenter, will you key up, please?
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of September the 12th and September the 19th as written.
I have a motion. May I have a second? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Now we will move forward to reports. We'll begin under 5.1. I would like to take a point of privilege, a few moments. I would like to thank Cabarrus County was asked this year to conduct the District 6 meeting for North Carolina School Board Association. This was a task, and we have several people that we would like to thank for this and to acknowledge what hard work was done through many different people. Our District 6 president was Ms. Cindy Furtenbaugh, board member, and our board clerk, Ms. Allen Monroe, our board clerk, actually coordinated along with several other people. And if you'll give me just a moment, I want to make sure I do not miss anyone. Upon that acknowledgement, I would like to add Executive Assistant Robert Kirk, Ms. Carolyn Carpenter, Dr. Marion Bish, Ms. Kelly Klutz, and Ms. Carrie Cox did a presentation of the Cabarrus County Schools budget presentation, which was at least entertaining, but a very good job done. I think I had several phone calls from Lincoln County. There was a couple of other counties that called and was very complimentary on the presentation itself and asked a lot of questions. And I'm sure Ms. Klutz got quite a few questions as well, so that was a job well done. Along with that list is our Public Relations Director, Mrs. Ronnie Boone, and Mrs. Angie Ross, for actually taking care of ordering the handouts for the event. Principal Todd Smith and AP Mark Lowry, who actually hosted the event at Cox Mill High School. Ms. Joyce Camp, our technology facilitator at Cox Mill High School as well. Mr. Jesus Castillo, which was the custodian for Cox Mill, and there were several backup custodians. That was a very well coordinated event on how that building was taken care of and prepared for that night. Mr. Ken Little, Facilities Department, which transported the food and supplies from Hickory Ridge High School to Cox Mill High School and assisted the Cox Mill custodians. Mr. Jerry Lambert, Facilities Department, provided backup custodians, Regina McNee, and the cafeteria manager at Cox Mill High School. Chef Felicia Pritchett and culinary arts students, both past and present, from Hickory Ridge High School, and EJ, the maitre d', presented a phenomenal meal for us. Chief David Barlow and the Concord High School Fire Academy crew did the presentation of colors. Ms. Tanya Jackson and the OCS class from Northwest Cabarrus High School designed and assembled all the menu cards. Mr. Matthew Swain and the Mount Pleasant High School horticulture class took care of the table decorations and plants. Colonel Nelson English and the Central Cabarrus High School Junior ROTC took care of parking detail, which was an event in itself with all that showed up. That was very well coordinated. Colonel Scott Rose and J.M. Robinson High School, the Junior ROTC, did the breakdown and cleanup detail. Mrs. Vivian Howard and the J.M. Robinson High School Chorus provided the entertainment, along with Mr. Sam Bogan, and the Northwest Cabarrus High School Jazz Band was phenomenal. We received many compliments. That was just absolutely so different from anything that we had encountered from any type of District 6 meeting. Principal Kevin Blackburn and students from the PLC worked at the event. Miss Christine Whelan and broadcasting class from Cox Mill High School did the video broadcast in the auditorium. Principal Vance Fishback and students from the early college also worked at the event. And Miss Sarah Bainbridge and Hickory Ridge leadership class assisted the culinary arts class with the serving and dinner cleanup. And at this point in time, I'll actually ask our District 6 President, Ms. Furtenbaugh, if she would like to add any comments.
Madam Chair, and for the other board members too, I just want to note that we did receive a thank you note from Dr. Dunlap, from our Executive Director from the North Carolina School Board Association, thanking us for the great job. They enjoyed the school, the excellent entertainment and the food. And I'll say just from a personal standpoint, this started out as a vision that we would include all of our high schools. And we included all 7 traditional high schools and the 2 non-traditional high schools. As Ms. Blackwelder read, there were a lot of thank yous, but it was amazing how it all came together, and thanks in large part to Eileen and Robert, who coordinated all of that. I kind of drew up the project plan, if you will. That's my tendency to make the list, and they filled in all the blanks and executed it. So it was pretty exciting to see it all come together, and we looked for the traditional thing, what room could we have dinner in, and whatnot, and then all of a sudden when we went out to visit one day, Cox Moy said, let's have it in the atrium. And so it's amazing like how versatile that space was. It was both a jazz concert area, a choral area, and a dinner area. So anyways, it was fun to do. I'm glad it's over. It was a lot of organizing and planning, but it was a great showcase for our district.
It was a great showcase, and for all of the board members that have attended different District 6 meetings, it really gave us a great idea of how much hard work actually goes into coordinating those events. And I know a name that was left off, but he actually was just backup for everybody else, and that was Dr. Shepard. Just back up. Just back up, that's right.
Well, Madam Chair,
Sure.
I have not been to that meeting at any other district, but I can tell you with absolute certainty that they've got very large shoes to fill, and I will be hard-pressed to believe that anybody could top what we did. And again, thank you to all the names that were mentioned. That was just a great night.
That was a great list, but we wanted to make sure that we did not miss anyone. That was a huge event, and it was very, very well executed. I would also like to take a moment to thank Board Member Blake Kiger, who has assisted in putting together our tours and coordinating with Dr. Kirk and getting us out to the different facilities to reprioritize. We want to thank Jessica Groover, who did a great job on the article that was in Sunday. I received numerous phone calls, and every one of them were good this time. So it was great. We appreciate people taking notice that we are out looking at the facilities to make sure that we are prioritizing older buildings and what needs to be done to them. That's very important to us. I received one phone call that thought because we didn't go out to one school, we had missed it somewhere in the mix of things, but we have not missed any schools. This is our 3rd tour for the year, so we're trying to break them up and get out to all the older schools, and that's going to help put our list together. So we don't want anyone to think that they were left out. That's a very important part of what we're doing and getting ready for this next year. And with that said, I will turn the mic over to Dr. Shepard for superintendent comments.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A few things I'd like to call to your attention this month. We have several community partners who gathered together school supplies back in the months of August and September, who put together over 200 backpacks filled with school supplies for students, for families who couldn't provide those items for them. So we want to thank and give a heartfelt thanks to the members of Calvary Community Church, Pitts Baptist Church, Rocky Ridge United Methodist Church, as well as the employees of Corning and Harley-Davidson for their donations. This past month, 3 Cabarrus County schools received a special surprise from Office Max. They were selected for the store's A Day Made Better program. Our congratulations go out to A.T. Allen Elementary School teacher Christina Troutman, Beverly Hills Elementary School teacher Ann Carroll, and Coltrane Webb Elementary School teacher Jackie Shingler. Each of them received supplies valued at $1,000 for their classrooms. And also thank you to Office Max for supplying that. Also this month we want to make you aware that our broadcasts are available on our website. If you're seeing this tonight, viewing audience at 7:30 on Wednesday night, want to make you aware that you can also see this on our county government's YouTube channel on demand. And also want to recognize that this week is National School Lunch Week, and to celebrate Cabarrus County Schools Child Nutrition, we'll host School Lunch Let's Grow Healthy, a campaign to help students understand where their food comes from and to get excited about healthy school choices. So the campaign, which also coincides with National Farm to School Month, will put a spotlight on the locally sourced foods served in the Cabarrus County schools. So thank you for that opportunity to make our report, and those are just a few of the good things that are going on in Cabarrus County schools.
Thank you very much. Next, we will move to 6.1, which are our guest speakers. I will read the guidelines for the guest speakers. Guest speakers may be scheduled on the agenda of a board meeting by calling the board clerk by 12 noon on the Friday prior to the meeting. It should also be noted that the individuals addressing the board will be allowed up to 3 minutes and groups up to 5 minutes to make their presentations. The Board of Education would like to thank our guests for their interest in addressing the board and also for their cooperation in presenting information within the time frame allotted. And the first person I have listed is Susan Suarez Webster with the Adult and Family Literacy Program in Cabarrus County. If she'll please come to the podium. And Ms. Webster, if you will, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but if you'll key your mic, just hit the talk button and it'll turn red.
Good evening, Board, Holly, Dr. Shepard. And by part of the Literacy Council, I want to thank the Cabarrus County Schools who helped us out by participating with a Spelling Bee team in the Adult Spelling Bee that we have as one of our main fundraisers to raise money for adult literacy in Cabarrus County. Statistics tell us that close to 16.5% of the adults in Cabarrus County, that's adults over the years of 18, do not have a high school diploma. Those are the people that we're targeting with our services. We teach adults, very simply put, to read and write. But we need people like yourselves, people who are in the community, to lend us a hand and give out our number, my name, if you will, to individuals, adults older than 18 who need that help. Because they might trust you, they might trust you to come to me. And then we can get them started in the Laubach way to reading. Simply put, what we do is teach them the code, the letters, and then quickly get them to decode, read, and then comprehend. I also just want to mention very quickly, and then I'll sit down, that I have talked to some of the young people in your high schools about illiteracy, and that illiteracy takes on all kinds of shapes and colors and ages. I talked to them about Fantasia, a young lady who won American Idol some years ago, in 2004, and the difficulties she has today because she signed a lot of contracts without knowing how to read them. So she is studying with a personal tutor. And the other thing I just want to mention is here in Cabarrus County, we also have the Family Literacy Program. And my colleague who's here, Kim, who leads up the Family Literacy Program, will target young people who are parents or any adults who are parents who have children between the ages of 0 and 5 years old. We know that there are young parents today that can use help in the basic pre-literacy skills. My colleague teaches parents, whatever age they are, they just have to have a child between 0 and 5, the importance of reading, writing, playing, singing, and there's one more that I'm leaving out with their children, and that'll get them ready for kindergarten. We use the Every Child Ready to Read program. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And we just want you to know that we are brushing up on our spelling bee skills as we discuss this, and next year will be a whole different outcome.
That's what we want. Thank you.
Thank you for being here tonight.
Is there a telephone number where they can reach them?
Ms. Webster, would you like to give that?
Yes, it's 704-920-ABCD. That's our number.
Thank you, Susan. And next we will have to the podium Heather Dooley with Texas Roadhouse Restaurant.
Hi, Board. Thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to come and speak with you today. I'm from Texas Roadhouse. My name is Heather Elise, and I'm the local store marketer in Concord. It's come to my attention that there are a lot of budget cuts that are going on in Cabarrus County schools, as along with the rest of the United States of America school systems, and that's really tragic. But Texas Roadhouse is here to help. We have fundraising opportunities that are unbelievable. We do 10% nights where we allow people to come into from the community, and we provide 10% back of whatever is spent into the restaurant. We do peanut bag fundraisers where we donate absolutely free of charge peanut bags with free appetizers on the back, and those allow schools to fundraise for sporting events, for local bands, which are very underfunded right now, and all sorts of school programs that are absolutely necessary that may not have the funding that are required. So I'm here today just to show you the different programs that we have at Texas Roadhouse, highlight on them, and just basically try to get you to help me to help the community. That's what it's all about, is definitely helping out the community. The biggest one that we would like to push is the gift card fundraiser, where we allow the schools to go out and sell gift cards for Texas Roadhouse, and 10% of whatever is sold goes directly back to the schools. We don't have any restrictions on the limits of what gift card prices can sold, anywhere from $1 to $300. Whatever people can sell. Everybody loves Texas Roadhouse food, and everybody loves helping out their community, so it's just a really great win-win for everybody. What you have in front of you is just a brief overview of everything that I've spoken about, and I just wanted to say hi and ask you to help me get in with the Cabarrus County Schools so that I can help fundraise, because that's what it's all about, is helping out your community. I thank you so much for your time, and I know that you don't have any questions because you're not allowed to speak to me, so thank you.
Heather, I will make a comment for you to give you a recommendation just right out of the gate. If you want to contact the principals, and they can actually make you in contact with the PTO presidents, the Booster Club presidents. Those are normally who take care of the fundraisers. So that's a lot of schools and a lot of campuses, and you'll have your work cut out for you, but that's where you really need to start.
I've already started.
They make on-site decisions, so that would be a really good opportunity for you.
All right.
Thank you so much. Okay. Board members, let's move to 7.1. This is the approval of the consent agenda. May I have a motion that the consent agenda be approved as presented? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Next, we will move down to our action agenda. We will begin with 8.1. This is the approval of the athletic directors as assistant coaches. I'll have Mrs. Donna Smith and Mr. Gary Calamari, our new athletic director, at the podium, please. Yep.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead, Madam Chair. I'd like to make a motion that the Cabarrus County School Superintendent will review the principal's recommendation to name an athletic director, assistant coach for up to one season due to the inability to fill an open position. Decision for approval belongs to the superintendent.
I have a motion on the floor. I'm sorry. May I have a second?
Chair, I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Ms. Monroe, do you have that count, please? Thank you very much. I think that takes care of it.
We enjoyed walking up here.
We figured we pretty much hashed this out at the work session last week. So
Okay.
if you're good,
Thank you
you're good.
very much.
Okay, thank you for being here tonight. Okay, next we will move to the 8.2, approval of the school improvement plans. Board members, I know that you've had plenty of time to go through your flash drives for the school improvement plans, but we will have Mr. Matthew Fell to the podium for any comments or questions, and I will begin on Mr. Blake Kiger's side. Can you key up, please?
I'm good.
We are on the school improvement plans. I'm sorry.
With our computer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
Oh.
waiting.
Timing that is
Now, when
still
I
not
ask you
quite
if you're
done
all
yet.
there, you're like, yes, we're there. You're not.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Well,
You're not. You're.
I'm still.
This is okay, Holly. Keep going. This is moving along.
I'm still on 8.1. I'm sorry. You
Okay, this is
taking
your-
me off guard on that.
This is your 8.2 approval of the school improvement
Say
plans.
about the ADs.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the ADs.
You voted on it. You're
I
done.
know I voted on it, but I would like to make a comment why I voted on it.
Well, if you would like to move backwards, we'll be.
Yeah, you don't care.
It's passed. We're good. We're good to move forward.
But
Moving to 8.2, approval of the school improvement plans. My question was asking you if you had any comments or questions for Mr. Fell. We know you.
I had talked to him this afternoon, and I think he kind of updated me. I would like to say is, again, I appreciate all the work that Mr. Fell has done and also each school has done. I have gone over the plans, and again, looked at them, and I know he kind of updated me where they were with the assurances, and there's still, some of them have gotten some of them updated, but there's still a few of them that are still out, but he's kind of updated me on that. But I did go in the other parts, and they are looking good. So, again, I appreciate all the work and that's gone into them from each of the schools. So they look good.
It all looked good, and I appreciate your time and effort.
Ms. Furtenball?
No other comments, just it's a lot of work, so thank you.
Ms. Minot?
Very easily ditto. One question, which has nothing to do with this, but do we turn in the flash drives? Are they reused?
Ms. Matthew, can we keep our flash drives, or would you like to have them back?
You may keep them because...
Thank you. I had a feeling you would say that.
Yeah, and I'll actually send you an update as time goes on, and you can save them to the same thing. So.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to acknowledge all the work. I hate to be redundant, but I got to the absolute least, thank everyone, publicly for the effort. The school improvement plans is a big part of the school, and everybody had a part in it, and they were very detailed, and they've got some good things set aside, so I was very well pleased and very glad to vote to approve it.
Matthew, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I said I would make a couple of statements because some people get a little bit confused between the strategic plan, the school improvement plan, the facilities and maintenance plan. The school improvement plans that we've seen align with academically with the strategic plan. The facilities and maintenance plan, which are the requests that come from the schools, which I've gotten 3 phone calls over the weekend regarding that because they don't quite get it that we're not getting that report at the same time, will come to us at a later date by Mr. Lynn Wicke.
That is correct.
Yes. So I wanted to make sure that people understood we have not forgotten that part of the campus, and we are not recognizing the needs of structural needs and campus needs, but that will come to us at a later date. Do you have any other comments for us or any updates other than what you've heard tonight?
Just that I agree. The schools worked very, very hard on these plans, and I'm glad you recognize that. They deserve it.
With that, may I have a motion that the school improvement plans be approved as presented?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you very much.
I'm next.
That's right. I keep you. I forgot. Okay. Let me give them a few minutes to move forward. I think I'm moving faster than they are. Let's move to 8.3, approval of the district strategic plan. We will keep Mr. Matthew Fell. Board members, let me know when you are there. Everyone good? Okay. Matthew, it is you.
As promised, last week I said I would just update you on the results of the survey, which closed this past Friday. Still some phenomenal results. This week I come to you letting you know that the final results had essentially everything over 90% except for one area by the community, and that was the objective for 8 days absent during a school year, trying to reduce the number of students that had 8 days or more. And the community rated that at 83%. Everything else, again, had 90% or better. There were 1 or 2 that had between 90 and 95, and that was standardizing the computer software, which we saw last week, and also the reducing the percent of students that require remediation was just at 94% by community. Everything else, though, had 95% or better approval rating by community and by our staff. So overall, very good results regarding support for the district strategic plan. Any questions?
Board members, I will open up the floor for comments, and I will begin on Mr. Shue's side. Comments or questions?
Thank you once again, Madam Chair. I just want to make a comment or two in reference to the graduation rate, which is always of a big concern to me. And we have a realistic goal where we're at 84% 2010-11. We're looking to be at 90% 2013-14, and that's a very realistic goal. With all the alternative programs that we're working with, that everybody is involved to help get these kids across the stage. And so I think that this is a very, very realistic goal, and I really believe we can do it. Everybody work hard, and all the kids stay in school, we'll make it.
Thank you. Ms. Minot?
I just was impressed because I came in toward the tail end of what you were doing there and seeing all the the work that's been put into it, and I know there was a tremendous amount of work. Appreciate that. But I couldn't help but contrast it to the first year I ever taught, and I won't tell you what year that was, where you were just placed in a room with and had a list of the children's names, and that was about it. Your goal was to get through your year alive.
That's right.
And so I think that this is quite an accomplishment, and I look forward to you meeting all of those goals.
Ms. Furtenbaugh?
I just wanted to comment. I'm a bit puzzled by the 83% on the community not really supporting, at the same 97, 98 level, reducing the number of days absent. And in looking at the detail, 12% say they have little support for this goal. Were there any comments? Were there any free-form bills that you got any insight to that?
Yeah. Basically the insight that I got from that particular one, the comment that sort of came back up, was simply that folks felt that 8 days really weren't that many in an entire school year.
Wow.
That was the recurring comment theme for that particular item.
Yeah, that's interesting because I think that's a
Yes,
huge amount.
All right. So that's,
In my family, we were 1 day shy of perfect attendance in high school, so
wow. Yeah.
But anyways, no, it looks good. I was pleased to be part of creating some of those goals and good results. That one just kind of baffled me.
That did stick out. Mr. Furr?
No, I don't really have any remarks except thanks for all your hard work. A lot of information, but we appreciate it. Thanks.
Ms. Carpenter?
Well, my question was the same as Cindy's about that. And that was the only other question, was they just thought that wasn't that many days?
Well, keep in mind the only information that I had to answer her question was from the comment section, and that was the only sort of recurring theme. Not everybody who'd said they had little support actually included a comment to that effect either, but that was the recurring comment theme from that particular item.
Okay. Well, that was my only concern, was that same question. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carpenter. Mr. Kiger?
Well, thank you for all your hard work and putting this together. I'm sure you guys spent some time trying to put your heads together, figure out how to increase participation, and it may just be something that, at the end of the day, if people that are happy, maybe they just don't bother to take the survey. I guess of the 1,500 on staff and only 1,100 of the parents of all the children that we have in the system, somehow it'd be great to get that number up. I mean, but you can't go out there and force them to do it. So I mean, you've made it available, and somehow, way, shape, or form, if we can figure out how to get the word out to drive people to the site to take the survey, that would be great. But overall, I mean, it's all good information. You've done an excellent job of putting it together, and maybe if we hadn't heard from people, that maybe means they're happy.
Very good. Any other comments or questions? Matthew?
No, I also want to thank the board. You put a lot of work into this. So
We
thank
have,
you.
and I really want to make a comment myself. I know this is a famous quote, but it truly does fit. If you don't have a roadmap of where you're going, you may not get where you want to get. And that is so true. And I think we've learned that with this, because if you're going in different directions and everybody has a different idea of what academics, athletics, all the different parts that play a part in education mean, but when you put that big picture together and you have that roadmap, it means that everybody's going in the same direction at the same time. And that is so true. As I worked through this and we were talking about it, it really gave us a good visual. So I appreciate that. All the hard work and all the stuff on that, when you bring it down and you boil it down to one common thing between us, and that's what's best for students in Cabarrus County, it just makes the hard work all well worth it. And so thank you very much. We appreciate it. Keeping you. Would you like to move on to the other one? You're done.
Are y'all
You're done.
voting on it?
We are. Are you good?
I'm done, yes.
Nothing else? Okay. Then may I have a motion that the district strategic plan be approved as presented?
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. Okay, now we will move to 8.4. This is the approval on first reading of Policy 4115. Behavior standards for transfer students will be presented to the board for approval on first reading. Do I have any comments or questions for Dr. Sane?
Madam Chair, I just wanted to thank Dr. Sane that I had requested that there be a right to rescind statement put in there. I think that captures it very well, so thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, may I have a motion that policy 4115, behavior standards for transfer students, be approved on first reading? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. We will move to 8.5. This is the approval on first reading of policy 4316, student dress code. I have talked to Dr. Sane and asked that we pull this tonight and actually send this back to the policy committee. I had actually asked our board attorney, Mr. Enriquez, to work on some things, and Sarah, I know that's probably throwing you a curve tonight, but he's not quite finished, so that's going to go back to the policy committee and it will come back to us. So we're going to pull that one for tonight and place it back on the work session for November. Is everyone okay with that? Okay. Moving to 8.6, approval of, actually, that takes care of you, Dr. Sane.
It pretty much does. I was trying
Yes.
to fix it for the next person, but
Thank you very much.
there you go.
Okay, next we are going to move to the approval of the revised board budget, and I'm going to preempt with a statement here. The reason this was placed on the agenda to begin with was I wanted board members to understand, especially the new board members, that we have a lot of opportunities here local that we've made happen with the retreats, the strategic plan. There's been a lot of things locally that we've done that gives us our continuing ed credits that we are mandated by law to receive. So therefore, the budget, as much as we had reduced it in the past, looked like it may be a problem for board members to maintain or to acquire those hours. We really are doing okay. My thought is, right now, with what's been proposed, is something that would have to actually move into the budget approval for the fiscal year of 2012. So I would like to say, let's leave it as it is, understanding that we are fine for hours. The budget is fine for what every board member needs to have through that period of time, so that we leave it just exactly like it is and bring it back to us in the new budget year.
Yeah, Madam Chair, if I may, since I drafted this originally, because we don't have any financial changes in here for this fiscal year, my suggestion is, because we've all read it and whatnot, that we go ahead and approve it. Between Mr. Shu's comments, your comments, Madam Chair, a few other folks sharing comments, I feel like we cleaned up a lot of the language, and I think the clarifications are important. And I will note that I've passed out a copy here to the board. I added some, Ms. Monroe, you have it in your email also. I just struck out some old language. There was some cute, confusing parenthetical things and whatnot, cleaned it up. And just as note, from what we looked at last week, we were actually looking at the January 2009 copy. When I went to my computer at home, because I was keeping the master of it, we actually had made a change in October of 2009, still significantly under our original budget from even 3 years ago. So I guess I would like to say, because this could not occur until we could not add any money until fiscal 12 anyways, I would like to go ahead and approve the revisions because of the clarity gained.
And actually, you're right, this does not change the budget amount, which was the issue that we had. That takes care of that. With that, I will open up the floor with discussion, and I will begin on Mr. Shu's side.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm still a little bit confused, Ms. Furtenbaugh, on the budget allocation. Comparing that to the suggested guideline number 1, where it's saying that we have up to $1,500. You struck out the 1,000, and now we've got $1,500 as of 10/12/09. But then on the budget allocations, it says 1,000.
Look at the second line right below.
Yeah, I see that. But then it's the recommendation.
I struck through the recommendation word because it was increased to 1,500.
Well, which is it? Is it 1,500 or 1,000?
It's 1,500 as of 10/12/09. I have the date at the beginning of the line there.
Well, I think the confusing part is the 1,000 member for up to 15 hours.
And I can
need to strike that out.
That's fine. I can strike that.
Yeah, let me make a clarification for the viewing audience and those that are here with you, because they do not have this document. And Mr. Shu, I do agree with you. That is an issue, because if you add this, it does not compute. The $1,000 member for up to 15 hours is what we should be approving. Otherwise, these numbers do not compute.
No, they
The
don't.
1,500 was the problem. So if we keep it at $1,000, and then the rest of those line items are okay.
Well, the reasoning is that we took away, and let me do the numbers real quick here. We took away $8,400 from board meeting stipends. It was just in two different pots when we did this in October 2009.
Okay,
So-
but I want to make a clarification. Now, this is the board budget for travel expenses. This doesn't have
It
anything
is,
to
but
do with-
we're looking at the total board expenditures. There's two pockets of money, one for stipend, one for training and travel. We took away $8,400 in October 2009. We took away $8,400 from our stipends. We added in $500 to go from $1,000 to $1,500 for training. So we added in at that point $3,500. We still had a net savings of $4,900. So we still took $4,900 out of our collective budget. And so probably what I need to do is to modify where it says, and Kelly Klutz, is that a problem? I mean, because that's how I think we've been operating the last 2 years. That we took it off the stipend, but we put part of it into training.
But you know what? I want to make this easy. This has
Okay.
gotten too convoluted. My thought is, we know that we have 13.5 to work with. Okay, that is the budget, 13.5, correct? Current 13.5.
Okay.
Simple and easy, $1,000 per board member, keep the 3,000 line item, keep the 1,000 line item, and keep the 2,500. That equates to the 13.5. It makes no change this year. Now that we are getting local CEUs for local events that we're having here, there's no reason to change that to the $1,500 or to increase that, because we're actually getting local hours here versus still having to go outside Cabarrus County for continuing ed. So my thought is what we are doing now is sufficient, but if we want to change that, let's work with that the next budget year.
And that's fine. I'm just curious, what did you do when we took away the stipend? Based on this documentation, that money, part of that was supposed to go into the training budget. Did that not happen?
No, I didn't get that direction from the board. I understood that that was to go back into fund balance.
Yeah, see, we actually had it in this documentation, but I guess it never happened.
I remember there was some discussion about whether
Yeah.
to put it into smart boards, because we were having that discussion at the time, but I believe the resolution was, it was to go back into fund balance.
Okay, and I mean, that's fine either way, and we can clarify that too. I would just like to, honestly, I would like to have a clean working document with the plan. So if it's okay with the board, I'll go and clarify that wording and take out, Mr. Shue, that one line you pointed out there.
Is the one that has the date in the front, the 10/12/09. Other than that, and the bottom bullet point goes away as well, right?
Well, that is a recommendation for the next budget year.
Right, but for
So
the
that one
document
would be
we're
okay.
getting, okay.
Yeah,
But what
that
we're
one's
getting ready to
okay.
approve, that
Yeah.
one we can leave, but it's just not part of this
Exactly.
equation.
Right.
Okay, and what I'll do is I'll move everything that's recommended for fiscal year 12, I'll just move that below into a new section.
That would work perfect.
Okay.
And I have
Mrs. Hugh?
I'm sorry, I
Let-
didn't mean to
want to make
interrupt.
sure that Lynn is okay. Lynn, does that clarify your questions and comments?
Yes, it does, because, obviously, 13.5, it was, it's not a lot to cover, but if we go up, I mean, if you're including the National School Board Association meetings, and, that's part of this, but it's also part of the recommendation Ms. Furtenbaugh's talking about. So if we list the recommendations on the bottom, and then it's pretty easy to understand at this point. But it was so confusing, though. I mean, you'd look at one and you couldn't tell if it was this or if it was that or whatever. But I think that we got it cleared up now. And then when it comes time for the budget, since I'm on the budget committee, maybe, and of course Cindy and Carolyn are also, between the three of us, surely one of us can remember, and I'm sure Ms. Klutz will help us, remember we want to bring this up when it comes to start talking about the 2012 budget. Thank you.
So you are good. Okay. Ms. Minot, any comments or questions? Okay. Cindy, does that take care of you as far as what you're going to do with it?
That's fine. So we're just going to table it for now. I just, because of the questions on it, I would really like for us to have a clarified document for now, as soon as we get it to where we want it. And then whatever happens in fiscal 12 is fine.
We can
You know.
table it. My thought is it's not doing anything different than what we're doing right now. It's not made any changes, so there's really nothing to do. I was going to take it off, but if you want to table it for,
Yeah, I guess I would like to table it because, yeah,
That's fine.
just so we have good
let me
wording.
just finish going down the line, and then if you'd like to
That's
make
fine.
change the motion to table it, that'll be fine. Mr. Furr, any comments or questions?
I'm afraid so. I agreed to wait to the budget process, but one thing I want to understand and make sure, from my understanding, the teachers and those people, their budgets in the past have been cut for training. Is that correct? They don't have the staff development. So until theirs gets back, we should do nothing. So I want to make sure we're conscious of the next budget. They're first, we're last. And it's just a common sense thing to do.
One of the reasons with us, though, we're required to do that, and there was legislation that was put in that if we don't do those 12 hours, they're going to charge you $100 an hour. And the teachers, $100 an hour, I don't think they charge the teachers $100 an hour. And so that's why they put legislation in that charges us that. And we are, as Holly stated the last time, we're the only board that's required to do this. So that is one of the things that's stated.
Yeah, I agree. Let's table it and let's get a clean document just so we know what the baseline is and what we're doing. If we want to have a further discussion about increase, I think we can do that later. Mr. Furr makes an excellent point. The reality is we are statutorily bound by getting credit, and there's things involved with doing that. But I think, to me, the important piece is that we do a lot of it locally. We're going to Greensboro, here, Raleigh. I'm not so worried about being able to travel nationally. I'm just not sure how much we're going to get out of a school district in Houston or Chicago or San Francisco or Des Moines, Iowa, not to leave the little towns out. Our neighbors, we can learn a lot from because they're under our same system. There's probably some good to that, but I'm not sure that 2 or 3 board members going every year is a wise choice of our money. But we can leave that discussion for another day.
Mr. Furr, I know you would like to make another comment.
No, I understand that we're, by legislation, supposed to have this training, but I don't think we've ever in the past have any problem getting our training with the money that's been applied to us and with the stipend we already get, which I'll repeat again, is plenty of money to spend on whatever training you want to spend it on. And so.
I do want to make one clarification, and this is the whole reason I feel like I've opened up a can of worms by putting this on here, but we needed to have discussed it at some point in time because it was on there for us to review it. We did not have locally authorized events except within the last couple of years. So board members, and I'm not even sure, Mr. Shue, if they were when you were on the board. The year that we got them was just a couple of years ago with the retreats and the strategic plan. So these are things that are just new within the last couple of years. So yes, at one point in time, 3 or 4 years back, you didn't have a choice but to go outside to the law conferences, to the annual conference in Greensboro with the North Carolina School Board Association to attain your hours. We didn't have a choice, so the budget became a very serious situation because it doesn't take much per board member to use that money up real quickly. But now that we have given authorization by the state to get our CEUs here for events that we're conducting ourselves, we need to understand that our board budget is sufficient. That's the main thing I wanted you to take away from looking at that. It is sufficient now. Now, what we want to do in the next couple of years, and this board may change in the next couple of years, but the board budget committee needs to go back and take a look at it. But I do agree, if you want to go back and clean it up so that that'll be something you can present to the budget committee coming up, that's fine. So with that, would you like to make a motion for clarification?
Okay.
Wait a
Mr.
minute.
Shue?
I want to make another comment also, and I don't want to drag this thing out. I made mention of this when we talked about it last time. And I know the North Carolina School Board Association, they've instituted a $100 fine for every 1 hour that a board member misses. All right, we're supposed to get statutorily, we're supposed to get 12 hours. If, we didn't have the local opportunities to get those credits, well, you're looking at $1,200 per member fine annually. That's $8,400 a year fine. And, the School Board Association has to operate on something, guys. And, I mean, I appreciate, Mr. Furr's comments with all due respect, but when it comes to a statutory requirement that we're mandated to do by the law, then, I don't think the public or anybody would expect you or me or anyone to travel to Raleigh or Asheville or wherever we have to go to obtain those credits. And so, obviously, there needs to be reimbursement for that. And to me, that's common sense. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. But, as far as, the North Carolina School Board Association, I don't want to see us fined any, because that's money that we're throwing to the association that we could be using for training and, to get the credits that we need. And I don't want to see us put a roadblock. We're not talking tons of money to start with. And we're talking $13,500. We're not talking $13 million or anything like that. We're talking $13,000, and we've been, messing with this now. This is the second meeting. This is a real simple thing, folks. We need the training. We got to have the training we're required. The only thing that I was concerned about, was it 1,000 or was it 1,500 per member? Now that we've got that cleared up, we can move on. Thank you.
I just want to clarify, the fine concept was actually, I believe, going to go into fines and forfeitures. It was not to the School Board Association. It was legislated.
Yeah, but they collected. They fined us.
No, it wasn't going to be their NCSBA's money. It was going to be DPI's money. So.
It doesn't matter which
I know.
pocket it goes in, Ms. Furtenbach. It's coming out of
understand.
our pocket going to somebody.
I understand. I just want to
That's what I'm
clarify that
trying
it
to
was not an
clarify.
organizational
Thank you.
fine. It was a legislative fine. But the other thing, as Ms. Blackwater said, until the last couple years, and I believe they made training opportunities more flexible for us to file credits for things we do locally in order to help us economically. So before that, and I'm going to say before, probably really 2010, we couldn't file for credits. You could go to all the meetings you wanted to go to, and there was not that opportunity. And all that training and whatnot. So it didn't matter what we did that was Head Start and Kids Plus and any other little training thing we might have gone to, my beta meetings and stuff, we couldn't file those. So with that, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to table this for a future discussion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. And with that, we will move to 9.1. May I have a motion that the board convene in closed session pursuant to General Statute 143.318(11)(a)(6) to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial employment of an initial public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee, or to hear or investigate a complaint, charge, or grievance by or against an individual public officer or employee, and pursuant to General Statute 143-318(11)(a)(3, to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the public body, which privilege is hereby acknowledged.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. And with that, we will say goodnight to the viewing audience, and we will see you at our November work session.